Hey everyone, welcome to History Forge. My name is Taylor Hamblin. Just got back from Thanksgiving break, so it's been an enjoyable time to get back and just listen to the students and just hear about their family and just how much fun they had. The energy that comes back is really enjoyable. A lot of times it's a necessary break too. The kids were ready to have 4 or 5 days to really relax, and so was I. So I'm actually going to combine the 2 weeks together. Just I figured I don't really want to talk about the last 3 days, the 2.5 days really actually before break. So I'm just going to make this like a week 14, 15 video. So for the teachers that also watch these, just so you know, I'm going to mash stuff together. So last week, before we jumped into our break, we started the week off with doing a analysis. So I've been working a lot on sourcing analysis, and I really wanted to focus on how we can actually take these skills and go into semester tests with them. And so what we'll do is for the next, the remaining 3 weeks we have before semester testing, we're going to go through the primary sources and really test on social studies skills. And I have those skills right here. In fact, I'll even hyperlink them. All this stuff. I will hyperlink this into right here. That way everyone can kind of see it. Let's see. Right here. So yeah, I'm going to do that so everyone can have it. I've already emailed parents. If you're a teacher though and want to read that, you can. These are the skills I go through though. Everything in orange that's highlighted will be on the semester test. And the way this works is I test students on their ability to master the skill. They have to show me that they can do the skill using that RACE strategy I've talked a lot about. So they have to provide evidence, they have to explain their answer, all those things. And this is the stuff we've been doing each week. All these videos are things that I've already gone through with them. I'm making more videos all the time. I'll probably make maybe 2 or 3 each week. And I'm going to give those as more like interventions to students. And I'll also work with kids in small groups this current week. But basically, it's just this idea of not making students in the social studies class just memorize a bunch of facts and dates. It is more about, let's focus on that critical thinking element that we like to pride ourselves. A lot of history teachers say, we're a relevant curriculum because we make kids think critically. That's true, we do, but not if you force your kids to memorize hundreds of facts and only test them on that. That is not a good way of testing. It's not a good way of assessing, especially in a history classroom. There's so much more we could be doing. So that's kind of my philosophy. It's why I do it. I know I have several parents who are curious about it. Some people are just mostly unsure about it. I really have never come across somebody who thinks it's a bad idea. But if you're unsure, if you're a teacher or parent, you don't really understand why I'm doing this, I'm happy to email and talk. So feel free to either leave a comment in the video or email me back. I'm fine with that. So that's that. And going down, that's what we really did on Monday was I challenged them to do 6 skills. And so students had to do these 6 skills. They did them on paper. We actually just finished them up today, which is the 26th. And then, let's see, going back to next week, on Tuesday, November 20th, we worked on that secondary source as well. So, really 2 big things are due. I really wanted to challenge the students and see how well they could do something. So the students analyzed information. They worked on their big project. And I took all that stuff and I put it into their secondary source data. I think I have a blank sheet. Let me grab one. Just maybe help us a visual. All my students have these. I'll kind of hold it a little bit closer. So students work on this, and these are all the skills. And they're graded on, being below proficiency, basic, emergent, proficient, mastery. I do that just to kind of give them a nice visual of where they're at, and then throughout the following weeks, up to semester testing, I'm going to give them resources and do intervention lectures that will help them get past, the emergent point. That way they're proficient or mastered the skill. So that's what we did on Tuesday. Some of the students took their vocab test. For people who don't know yet, I make students pass their vocab test or any test for that matter. Failing's not an option in the classroom. So if they didn't pass it, they do it again. They study in class until they figure it out. And then Wednesday, we actually took the kids to a movie at the high school. It's called Science Fair, and so we really didn't even have class on Wednesday. So going into this week, this is just today, November 26th, and this is a little bit different than I've been doing the videos. I normally wait till Friday, but just because I'm doing this video anyway, I figured I would talk about the upcoming week. So this week, we really worked on semester test discussion. We really focused on what that's going to look like. I showed them this again, and I actually handed them out their sheets where their current standings are for several of their skills. And that's basically how the next 3 weeks is going to go. I'm going to assess them, say, hey, this is where you're at, And, all the meanwhile, we'll work on the big project too. It's what this Choose a Book is for. So I have all these books in my classroom. I'll try to send out some pictures for the parent video, or parent email. But yeah, the kids really do dig this because they get to choose their own topics and history, so they really get to focus on things they like. We did the sourcing skill analysis. We finished it today. Pretty much nobody finished it the week before. I think one person might have. But we finished it today for the most part. I'm grading them right now, actually. And, I'm passing back out on Wednesday. Because Tuesday we're doing a common assessment. That basically is a test that I give 3 to 4 times a year. The kids last saw it in September, very early on. And it just measures how much they've learned from me throughout the year. So I tell the kids, you're not really expected to pass this test. You're more expected to, just grow a little bit. And I tell them, I'm going to watch your growth. I'm going to measure it. I'll show you the number. And then hopefully by March or April, whenever I give it again, they will increase. They will get better. And so that's really what we focus on. It's just, we're a very big growth mindset school, and I like that idea too, is just always improving and getting better. So Tuesday, they'll take that test. Hopefully they'll all grow a little bit. If they don't, I'll do assessments and interventions. Again, if they didn't choose a book today, we'll do it tomorrow. Going to Wednesday, we have some students who have missing or incomplete assignments, and I haven't put them in the grade book as missing or incomplete, just because last week was so crazy with everything. I didn't want to bombard students. We're going to do it in class, and so if students have anything missing or incomplete, that's what they're going to work on. And everybody who's fine, they're going to start working on the next stage of their big project, which is really exciting. This is where projects, in my mind, get really fun, because students actually get to start picking what kind of project they want to do. So do they want to build an exhibit, or do they want to act in a performance? Do they want to create a documentary, or do they want to make a website? And they get to see the outline. They basically get to see the first step into doing those things. They get to see the very first taste. And if they're in a group, they have to start talking to their group and be like, hey, what are we going to do? How do all of our skills and desires all kind of mesh with each other? What are some of the things that we can do? So we're going to do that. We're going to mash it all together, and that'll be enjoyable. Continuing to go down, we're going to review questions generated from secondary sources. So basically the way that works is all the students have secondary source questions that they got from their analysis. So the students all read, anywhere between 4 to 10 secondary sources, and they had to come up with questions for each. So for groups especially, big groups especially, they have huge amounts of questions, and their job is to come up with basically a big research question, what is your project going to try to answer? And the question has to go through me. I give them advice. I basically say hey, this question's kind of easily answerable. We could probably figure it out within a 20-minute Wikipedia search. And so we're really going to push upon them the idea of no, we need to make this question more abstract, or something that's going to take a little bit of research and explaining to do. And I help them through that process, because that is really hard. That's probably where a lot of the kids are I wouldn't even say any of the kids are actually competent at doing it. It's very difficult. And so we're going to get into that, and it actually goes with along with skills too. So I'll test them on that ability, and that'll go into their semester testing rubric too, as if they're able to do this. So we're going to review those questions. I might give a primary secondary source quiz. It's super quick, just to test and see if they're able to do it. Thursday, we have a research question. So that's kind of what I was talking about. They're going to have a research question. They're going to work on it. I'm going to give them ideas on how to better do that. And then, let's see what else. We got social studies skills. There's going to be an intervention video. I haven't made it yet. I'm going to. It's just going to help. It's just going to help them figure. If they're below proficiency, it'll hopefully give them at least a little bit more information to help them kind of, make those connections. Why am I not getting this? A lot of that is just trying to help them figure out, why aren't they there yet? We'll review the common assessment work. We'll review everything actually on Thursday. I'll take all the data that I've been collected and I'll throw it in to their work on Thursday. That way they have a really solid understanding of where they're at by the end of the, fourth week. We might do a primary source analysis on Thursday. I might move it. We'll see. And then Friday, again, if students have not passed their last vocab test, they must pass it at some point. So I make them take it on Friday. If they, they can't pass it in the beginning, they have to study the entire time. Most students have passed, but those students who haven't, I think to me it teaches them how to study. It teaches them to be responsible, because where they have to study the entire time, everybody else gets to work on their big project. So for them especially, it's really valuable because they've already passed their vocab test. They did what they needed to do. Whereas these other guys who haven't done it yet, they need to work a little bit more. And then I might do a video quiz. I might move that to Thursday. I might get rid of the primary source analysis because the kids have done a lot already this week with analysis, so I might just get rid of it. Again, I think history quiz will be the last thing that we do. So it kind of just depends again. This is why I don't like to do this at the beginning of the week because I change my mind on things so much. And we try to keep it loose with the kids and flexible. That way we're actually doing the right thing. So that's it for the week. I'll probably do this video again for week 15. I think we're on week 14. Right. Well, currently we're on week 15. Last week was week 14. So that's kind of where we're at. I'll hyperlink these things too. And, again, if you ever have questions for me, if your parents especially, let me know. So if your teachers, let me know if you want to, any of this information. If you want to contact me, feel free. You're more than welcome to make a comment down in the video. If you want any of this information I've given, the links on the video description are where you can find that stuff. So hope everyone takes care. Hope everyone enjoyed their Thanksgiving break and made it home safe. And if you have any questions for me, again, please let me know. Hope you have a great day. Take care. Bye.